Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel Money Minded Jaws. If you're new here, thank you so much for subscribing. For all my returning subscribers as well, on this channel we talk about debt payoff, we talk about savings challenges, we do some cash stuffing, and I also give you updates on what's going on in my life. So let's go ahead and get into this video. This video is overdue and I'm actually glad that I waited because I did a thing with two of my debts that I have here. I'm going to talk about in a minute, and I'm going to explain to you exactly why I did it. First things first, I have been saving money, and I was telling you guys that my lease is going to be up at the end of this month, but we've actually decided that we're going to renew for 6 months because we feel that we need a little bit more time to get our finances together so that we can purchase a home. But nonetheless, this year we're getting our home. It's happening. But I wanted to do this video because I feel like it's overdue. I think I said a month ago that I was going to be doing this debt video. But anyways, let's go ahead and just get into it. I don't want to make it too long. I posted a short just giving you guys a breakdown of what I had the day that I did my debt confession video versus the day that I uploaded the short, and I told you guys basically what I had back then versus what I had the day. So our Wells Fargo card is completely paid off, so we're not worrying about that. We're not worrying about that anymore. Now we just have the business credit card, we have the student loans, we have the Quicksilver. Well, I'm going to talk about these two in a minute, and we also have this business SBA. So this I'm not too concerned about, even though I am paying it off, because it doesn't show up on my credit because it pertains to business, and this doesn't show up on my credit either because it's for business. And when I actually spoke to the realtor, she said the same thing, because I did use some of my Venture X card to invest in my gratitude journals, and she said it would have been better if I would have just put it under like my business. So but it's okay. So what I did was these two right here, I felt like I wasn't really getting anywhere when I would go to pay. I was paying the minimum for this one, and then there was times where I was paying a little bit more than the minimum for this one. However, the interest rate for these two are extremely high. For the Venture X card, the interest rate is 26, and for the Quicksilver, the for the Quicksilver, the interest rate is 30%. So whenever I would go, and I wrote down a little example here just to show you guys, for the Venture X, whenever I would go to make the payment, which is I think the most I've ever seen the payment is $624, then I would get hit with interest of like 400 and something, always like in the 400. So I really felt like I was taking 5 steps forward and taking like 3-4 steps back. I felt like I was moving, but not as much as I want to be moving. So yeah, I feel like I just need to kind of get this chomped down, even though I feel like I have paid a lot off since here. Like I feel like I paid a good amount off. Oh, I'm sorry, actually so this went back up. I forgot that I have a annual. When you have the Venture X card, there is an annual fee of $395. So it's already been a year that I've had this card. There's an annual fee of $395. So this actually went back up. Instead of it being $18,960, it went up to $19,355, so $19,355 because of that annual fee. When I logged onto the app, I'm like, what happened? Like in my mind, I'm like, I know this was in the 18s. Why is it showing again to the 19s? And it's because of the annual fee. So I told myself that I really want to get this like paid down. I really want to be done with this, and I feel like the best thing for me to do is to consolidate these, to pull out a loan to get these consolidated, and that's what I did. So I went with the company Sophie, I think it's called. It's I apologize for the noise in the background. It's SOFI, and they recommended me through Credit Karma. They said I had a really good outstanding approval, so I went ahead and I just pulled what I needed to get these combined, and that way, you know, I can just pay it off quicker, which is good because my monthly is low. So My monthly is about $613. Of course, I'm going to be paying more because that's the purpose, to get it like chopped down. But my interest is only 16%, which, you know, that's amazing. That's better than both of these. So I went ahead and I did it. At first I was like, no, I'm just gonna try, you know, to pay it off, you know, like how I'm doing. But when I really look at it, I feel like it's just gonna take me much longer if I try to I'm sorry, if I try to just do it like this, because I really feel like I'm not, it's not going as fast as I wanted to, which has only been a few months. It's only been a few months that I'm doing it. I think I'm doing, you know, a good job. But this year, not trying to like set up unrealistic expectations, but for me, I always feel like anything is possible. Anything is possible. So I really just want to try and get all of this paid off as quick as possible, because I really just want to be done with debt. So I went ahead and I took out a loan to combine these together, and then that way I can just get these paid off. So these are gone. Well, they're not gone, but you know, so I won't be paying them separate, which I think is also amazing. So now for Sophie here, I have, let's see, that's 19.3. So yeah, I took out a total amount of 25,000 for Sophie. I did have a little bit left over because I said I got hit with the annual fee, so I did have a little bit left over, and I'm gonna go ahead and just get that paid off. Okay, the dogs started to fight. I'm like, of course, as soon as I go to make a YouTube video, you guys would start with your shenanigans. So we have 25,000 with Sophie. So I went ahead and I just combined these two to lower down the interest, so I feel like it's just going to be so much better. So now we're going to go ahead and just add everything up, so that way I can just put the total amount here. So we have 25,000. Let me get my calculator out. So I'm going to go ahead and add up the total amount, so that way I can go ahead and put this here. I want to fill this out with you guys. So now we have 25,000 plus we have 15,000 for my SBA, plus, is that right? What did it say? 25,000 plus, I know. Okay, repeat. 25,000 plus 15,000. Okay, so 40,000. My student loans is 6,051 plus my Wells Fargo is 3,998 equals, okay, 50. The 17th, no, the 18th, I apologize, 2024. How I feel towards that. Okay, we'll answer that. Target for debt free. I'm gonna put like the middle of next year. So I will put for June 2025. 2025. Okay. So that way, you know, I don't put so much pressure on myself. But I do want to, you know, try my very best to get everything paid off as much as possible. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get this filled out really quickly. Okay, so yeah, that's it. And my total amount for my debt is 50,000. What did I have before? Okay, so when I did my confession video on September 27th, I had almost 54,000. So we are at 50,049, and that is a little bit higher because of the $395 fee. So yeah guys, so my new update is 50,049. So let's see how fast I can get this paid down. I'm not gonna, you know, go crazy and overwhelm myself. The point is just to you know, just get it paid off, so that way I can just be done with debt. But I'm not trying to like overwhelm myself. So I'm just praying on it. I'm giving it to God, and I know that there will come a time that I will no longer have debt. And I feel like this is just kind of like a little lesson for me to, well, things happen. At the end of the day, things happen, emergencies happen. Sometimes things can happen with your car. Like, look, this past weekend I did get into a fender bender. That's unexpected. It's not like we know little things are gonna happen. I had to take my dog to the vet 2 days ago, actually to the hospital, and the total amount came out to $1,300. I'm submitting it through insurance, so hopefully I can get some of that back. But when I actually go through my credit cards or stuff that I've used, it's usually for my business. There have been some eating out in the past, but it's usually for my business, things for the house, for her, you know, stuff like that. It's not like I do crazy spending, shopping. I don't really shop like that. So, but yeah, either way, I know that we are gonna get this paid down, and I'm glad that I did do the consolidation. That way the interest rate is down and I can just get that paid, those two cards paid off much faster. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to give you guys an update of my debt and where we are currently at. So we have paid off about $4,000, which that is what I had mentioned when I did this video, $4,200. So yeah, I'm proud of myself, guys. It's still something, and I always say that. Always tell yourself that you're proud of yourself and give yourself grace, because it's still something. And even if you are like struggling to pay off your debt, that's fine. My advice is to write it down. When you write it down and you face the music, and you have everything laid out in front of you, you really get the bigger picture, and you get to see you know, what you are working with. And even go through your bank statements. I know it could be scary because you don't want to see like what you've been spending on, but I feel like, and I always say this to friends, family, the first step to like resolving it is to just kind of putting it out there. And even just to yourself. You don't have to like, you know, make a video or tell anybody. Just write it for yourself. Go through your bank statements and see where's your money going. Nonetheless, guys, I just wanted to again go through like all my debt and just break it down for you guys. I know this video is overdue, but yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm gonna be doing a budget with me for payday, and then we're gonna see how much we are gonna be cash stuffing. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up. What are your financial goals for this year? How are you paying your debt off if you are getting it paid off? And what are some tips that, you know, you guys are doing to cut back on debt and, you know, not spend out any extra money? I would love to know. And also thank you guys so much for your purchases on Etsy. I always say this, but I really appreciate you guys. I'm so grateful for you guys. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.